In a small town in the United States, a girl named Kaya Gravitter grew up in a devout Christian family. Every Sunday, she sat in the church pews, listening to sermons with deep reverence. She read the Bible with great devotion, trying to understand the teachings passed down through generations in her family. However, something within her kept stirring. Since childhood, Kaya had not only accepted the beliefs taught to her, but was also a seeker. Many questions lingered in her mind. Why do we have to pray through an intermediary? Why can't we address God directly? She often asked these questions, but the answers she received never truly satisfied her heart. As she entered her teenage years, her doubts grew stronger. At the age of 16, Kaya began to feel that something was missing in her faith. During every family prayer, they would always express gratitude to Jesus, but Kaya felt more comfortable thanking God directly. That feeling continued to haunt her, making her feel as if she were standing at a crossroads. The year 2011 became a turning point in her life. When she started college, Kaya met several Muslim students. Before that, Islam was a religion she had only known through the media, often filled with negative stigma. She had already believed that Islam was a strange, foreign teaching that contradicted the values she had always held. One day, a friend said to her, "Did you know that Islam and Christianity share the same prophets?" That statement shook her thoughts. Kaya found it strange. How could two religions that seemed so different have something in common? Driven by curiosity, she began to explore Islam more deeply. At first, her intention was not to understand, but to prove that Islam was exactly as portrayed by the media, an irrational religion. She read articles, watched videos, and engaged in discussions with her friends. However, the deeper she delved, the more she discovered things that directly contradicted the prejudices she had always held. One of the most surprising things for her was the Quran. Unlike the scriptures of other religions, this holy book of Islam had never changed since it was first revealed. No revisions, no new additions, no different versions. Every letter recited by Muslims today is exactly the same as what Prophet Muhammad taught centuries ago. At the same time, Kaya also discovered that Islam teaches simplicity in worship. There are no intermediaries, no complex concept of the Trinity. A Muslim simply raises their hands and speaks directly to God in their prayers. Kaya's heart began to waver. What she had always considered a strange teaching was actually providing answers to the questions that had haunted her for so long. After months of studying Islam, Kaya could no longer deny it. Her heart had found the truth she had been searching for. She began to feel a peace she had never experienced before. In 2014, after a long journey, Kaya made a life-changing decision. With a trembling heart and tears streaming down her face, she recited the Shahada. As the words left her lips, she felt as if the burden she had carried for so long had disappeared. There was a happiness that words could not describe. She had found her true home in Islam. However, the journey was not over. Her decision to become a Muslim was not easy. Fear lingered in her mind. How would her family react? How would her friends accept this change? For a long time, Kaya chose to hide her Islam. She worshipped in secret, read the Quran in silence, and lived a double life. Until in her final year of college, she grew tired of living in deception. She no longer wanted to hide her identity. One day, gathering all her courage, she decided to wear the hijab. As she stepped outside for the first time with the hijab on her head, her heart pounded. She knew there would be strange looks, perhaps even difficult questions. But most importantly, she had made peace with herself. Her family was, of course, shocked, but over time they began to accept Kaya's decision. Though it was not easy, she remained steadfast in her faith, explaining to them that Islam is a religion that teaches peace, love, and generosity. Today, Kaya Gravitter is not only a Muslima, but also a fighter for the truth. She uses her voice as a writer to correct misconceptions about Islam, sharing her story so that more people can understand its true teachings. I used to be someone who didn't care and believed everything the media said because I had never met a Muslim or understood the true essence of Islam, she said. From a girl full of doubts, Kaya has now found unwavering faith. Her journey is proof that the light of truth always finds its way, even in the most unexpected places. Brooklyn, a girl from the United States, found the light of Islam through a spiritual journey filled with searching and prayer. This journey led her to the truth she had been seeking, and with full conviction, she finally recited the Shahada and officially became a Muslimah. Through her social media platform, Brooklyn shares the story of how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guided her to Islam. She believes that the guidance she had been praying for was finally answered by the Creator, who revealed the ultimate truth to her. "To me, God has shown the truth. Allah has shown the truth," she expressed with deep gratitude.
Hi, my name is Brooklyn, and I'm a Muslim. I grew up being a Christian. I wasn't looking for any other religion. I didn't think there was any other religion, just to be honest with you. One thing that I always consistently prayed for, though, was guidance. I prayed that God would guide me no matter what I was doing, no matter the bad things I was doing, the good things I was doing. Just as long as I was praying for guidance. And I knew that I was going to be blessed one day. I knew that life was going to be tough for me for a while, but it was going to be really good for me one day. I just prayed that God would tell me when that time was, when that blessing was there, so I'd be able to appreciate it. That blessing is me being a Muslim. I was 25 years old when I heard about Islam for the first time. I'm 26 now. Alhamdulillah, it's been a year since I've been a Muslim. And there's no turning back. Assalamu alaikum.
Since childhood, Brooklyn was raised in a Christian environment. However, deep in her heart, there was always a sense of unease that she couldn't ignore, especially regarding the concept of the Trinity. She felt that something didn't make sense, but she didn't know where to seek answers. Honestly, I wasn't interested in or aware of other religions. What I always asked for was guidance. No matter what I did, whether good or bad, I always prayed for guidance. Every time I prayed, it was a request for direction, she said. Brooklyn's request was not just words, but a sincere prayer that she offered in every situation. She felt that there was something she had yet to understand, but she believed that God would guide her to the truth. Brooklyn first learned about Islam at the age of 25. At first, she did not have a deep interest in the religion, but her curiosity began to grow when she heard her friends talking about Islam. One of the moments that surprised her was when she discovered that Muslims also believe in the story of Adam and Eve. All this time, she had thought that the story only existed in Christianity. However, what shocked her even more was how Islam explains the stories of the prophets in such detail and clarity. When I was still a Christian, I remember my friend telling me about Adam and Eve and how Muslims believe in it. I was shocked that Muslims had knowledge of the story of Adam and Eve. Then they explained in detail the stories of Prophet Moses, Noah, Jesus, and Abraham, she explained. Brooklyn became even more curious and started to learn more about Islam. She read about the lives of the prophets, studied Islamic teachings, and discovered that many of the principles she had always believed in were actually in line with Islam. Moreover, she realized that the laws in Islam actually also exist in Christianity. However, there was one major difference that stood out to her. Muslims follow these laws with full obedience, whereas in the Christian community she knew, these laws were not practiced with the same level of discipline. The laws in Islam actually also exist in Christianity, but the difference is that Muslims follow them. The Christians I know do not implement these laws the way Muslims do, she added. After a year of studying Islam, Brooklyn finally made a major decision in her life. With a firm heart, she recited the Shahada, acknowledging that there is no God but Allah and that Prophet Muhammad is his messenger. At that moment, she felt a happiness that was difficult to put into words. A sense of peace and relief filled her heart. She realized that this was the answer she had been searching for all along. She then began practicing Islamic teachings with full sincerity, including wearing the hijab to cover her aura. For Brooklyn, Islam is not just a religion, but a perfect way of life that provides clear direction and purpose for humanity. I believe that God is one. He has no children and was not born from anyone. There is nothing like him. Islam is the perfect way of life. It is a guide for humanity from Allah, the creator of the universe. Within it lies guidance for life and the purpose of human creation, she stated with firm conviction. If there is one thing that made Brooklyn's happiness even more complete, it was when her mother also decided to embrace Islam. When her mother recited the Shahada, Brooklyn could not hold back her tears. She was deeply moved to see how Allah had granted guidance to her family. Her mother is now learning Islam with great enthusiasm, often asking questions and wanting to know more about the stories of the prophets and Islamic teachings. For Brooklyn, this is proof that Allah's guidance can come to anyone who sincerely seeks it. From her various life experiences, Brooklyn became even more convinced that worshiping the one true God is a human instinct. She encourages anyone who is still searching to keep praying and asking for guidance from God. If you feel that something is missing in your life, keep praying. Ask for guidance sincerely. Never be afraid to seek the truth. If your heart is pure, Allah will guide you to His light, she shared as a message to those who are still uncertain. Now, Brooklyn continues to share her story on social media, inspiring many people to learn more about Islam. For her, Islam is the most beautiful gift Allah has given her in her life, and she wants to share that beauty with the world.